we're talking light. What's the best? What's the worst? I've got some techniques for you to try, and I'm going to show you a bunch of examples so you know what to aim for and why. Hi, I'm Sonia, ex-commercial photographer turned wildlife chaser. I help amateur photographers get professional results and make the most of their time in the field. So I have to admit that lighting has really been a bit of a sticking point for me, and up until quite recently I used to continue to try and shoot even though I kind of knew the light was no good, and then invariably I'd get home, I'd have all these photos to process, and I was disappointed with the results. And now I've learnt my lesson. I have accepted that there is a time when it's not going to be optimal, I'm not going to get the result I want, and it's time to just head home and have a cup of coffee. Pro photographers never compromise on light, so it is worth seeking out the right light conditions. Now, I know you're not going to be surprised when I say golden hour is your go-to here. My early morning process goes something like this. If I'm there before or at dawn, I'll attempt to shoot with a very high ISO, such as 10,000 or even higher. Then, if there's some nice color or fog, I might look for a small in-frame silhouette shot as the sun is rising. And then I'll move on to shooting directly into the sun before the light gets too strong and try and get some of those beautiful bokeh balls. Bokeh? 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 However you say it, you know what I mean. Those beautiful big light filled balls that can really make your photo look something special. A great way to achieve bokeh is to shoot into the sun while there's still a little bit of moisture around, either on a body of water or in the grasses and foliage. If you need some more help creating bokeh, there's a link in the description to download my free guide. And then from there, I might move to side lighting as the light gets a bit stronger. And then once the sun's fully up, then it's time to make sure that you keep the sun behind you and keep shooting until the light gets to that awkward point where it's just a bit too much contrast and a bit too strong. But I'm just going to show you a couple of examples of what nice light looks like. I'm sure you know, but here is some of my favorite shots taken when the light is really, really pretty. And now here I'll move on to a couple of shots that I've taken when it's already turned, the light's got a little bit too strong, and you can see the result is just not quite the same. A couple of clues that the light has moved past an optimal time is a washed out look to the feathers. You might also notice the feathers can look really shiny and glary. There could be very deep shadows and very bright highlights, and there's no longer an eye catch, which is that lovely little bit of reflected light showing in the bird's eye. This is my signal to move out of an open area and to start shooting where the light can be filtered a little bit under some trees. You can work this to your advantage using the sharp contrast under the trees and do some spotlighting and use the shadows for a creative effect. Remember to increase your ISO to compensate for the lower light and keep your shutter speed nice and fast. Identifying when the light has turned is crucial to getting a professional result. You can't always rely on post-processing. Have a look here at our histogram. We've got nothing in the midtones, and no matter what we do with the sliders, we're not going to be able to edit this successfully. Some issues can be corrected in post-processing, and there are times when you're not going to have any choice but to shoot in the wrong conditions, such as when you're on a trip. But personally, I don't want to lean on the bad light and editing combination. It's not going to make me a better photographer. It's more time on the computer. I'm not going to be able to enter those shots in competitions, and it's rare that you're going to get a really great result. The next best thing to golden hour is cloudy or part cloudy days. I love shooting in these conditions. I don't feel like I have to rush as there's extended shooting time, and I don't have to get up quite as early, so it's a win-win. Overcast lighting is soft and even, reducing harsh shadows and making it easier to capture fine details. It's perfect for birds with intricate patterns or light coloured feathers that might otherwise get blown out in direct sunlight. The only issue is you might find it difficult under trees as it can be a bit dark, so I tend to stick to open areas on these days. An added bonus is any breakthrough light that comes through the clouds, if you're lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time to catch it. I also love overcast days to shoot in the high key style. It's a favourite technique of mine. Link is in the description to a short tutorial on how to achieve this look. Natural light is ever changing, so stay adaptable and keep an eye on your histogram. Evaluate your settings as you go to ensure proper exposure. Look for the indicators that the light is past its prime and adjust your expectations accordingly. When the light's not right and I want to stay out in the field, I work on my hand to eye coordination by practicing raising the camera and getting the bird in the frame and in focus in the shortest possible time. It's the perfect exercise to nail those birds in flight shots. If you found this video useful, you might want to check out this one next. Happy snapping and chat to you soon.